My God, Ben. Do you know what this means? This skitter's gonna be turned upside down, I tell you, upside down. If you get on his bad side, brother, you're done for. Now, it's only a matter of time before he finds out, and when he does, no matter where he is, get ready, gentlemen, because hell's a-coming. Hell's a-coming. Hell's a-coming. Hell's a-coming. Hell's a-coming.
It's a tough mission, but I think you're ready.
If we're gonna save the colonies, we're gonna need top Gundam pilots. Transforming Wing Gundam is the most powerful Gundam in the galaxy. But before you can unleash its full potential, you have to transform it from mobile suit mode to bird mode. That's why we need pilots with an ability to take on Gundam mechanics. Beat the best, you have to be the best.
Hey, this is Stephanie Shea, and you're listening to Gundam at MAHQ.
Where's Sumire?
She went home.
She said she only came here to see that you were all right.
Damn, the babe's leaving already! You didn't tell her anything about me, did you?
Let's see, I think I mentioned that you're so behind that you needed to take summer classes or else you'd fail out. And of course I let her know that you had severe diarrhea last night. You got a problem with that?
All right, everyone, welcome back to Gundam and MAHQ. This is one of your hosts, Neo, and joining me always is the Soul Bro and the Chris. Guys, say hello.
Welcome, guys, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Yo.
And this is episode 285, and it will be the last episode of the year 2023 for Gundam and MAHQ. And so we'll be going on our holiday hiatus. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about Season 2 of Loki, the Disney Plus series that wrapped up a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that. And then I think at the end, we're going to kind of do a little ad-lib about, like, the MCU, like where it's at, what's up, our kind of thoughts, and maybe some things that we hope to see. But guys, anything as I saunter over to the Larry King Memorial News Studios for some Neo's
I got something. I got something.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Not MHQ related.
All right.
Awesome.
But,
awesome.
I've mentioned in the past on this show the Delta Flyers, the Voyager rewatch podcast hosted by Robert Duncan McNeil and Garrett Wong.
Oh, nice.
Great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they finished Voyager right before the strike, and they announced before the strike that they were going to do a full rewatch of DS9 with Terry Farrell and Armin Shimmerman as their new co-host. But unfortunately, the strike happened, And now that the strike is over, literally as of this week that we are doing this live stream, they put out their first episode of DS9. That is a show killer of 3.5 hours. Reminded me of the old days for us.
Oh, jeez.
Damn, 3.5.
So it's four people talking about a 2-episode pilot. So it's like, yeah, that's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, it is, and it's also the first episode, so they probably got into stuff that happened before they started filming.
Details.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yes. So it's a great. There's even some tidbits in there that I hadn't known. So I suggest go checking it out, and if you like them, support them on Patreon like I do. It's a great show, and I am so excited to see these next few years of them covering DS9 because this time, it's a mix of the insider perspective from Will and Shimmerman, and then you also have like the outsider's view, but still connected from McNeil and Wong.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I'm sure the future episodes won't be all 3 hours. They'll probably be like, no, we got to kind of dial this down a little bit. Yeah. So, that's pretty damn cool. So,
that's fantastic.
All right. Yep. So, bro, anything with you?
No, it's just as always. Make sure to check out MAHQ.net. That's the Mecha Anime headquarters. Got it pictured on the screen. They got a spotlight, an Orb Battler Dunbine, baby. Yeah, man. Also, Votom's Blue Knight, and article about Line Art Wars, man. Who did that? Oh, Chris did that. There you go. November 26th, baby. Get in there. Silent Line Art, all that stuff. But Line Art Wars, they just uploaded Line Art. Never mind. But still, that's awesome.
Tons and tons of line art.
Tons. Line art.
Stupid update titles.
Get in there. Check out all the new line art over at mahq.net, and make sure to make it one of your favorites you visit on a regular basis. Outside of that, that's all, man. Away with the news, man.
Well, that's a great segue to our first news item of the night from MCT Dread.
Right on.
And it looks like there is going to be a 40th anniversary SDF Macross art book that features new cover illustrations by Eiichiro Oitano.
Right.
So it's got the side of Crunchyroll here, and oh man, that's a pretty cool looking cover.
We'll pull this up, man. This bad boy up.
Yeah, there you go. So it's in celebration of the 40th anniversary of the Macross series. Publisher Kadosha released the second volume of the Macross Super Encyclopedia. Wow! So it's going to focus singularly on Super Dimensional Fortress Macross franchise, spanning the first show, Super Dimensional Fortress franchise, Do You Remember Love, and Flashback 2012. What do you know about culture? So focus specifically on the characters, mechanical settings, production materials from the era when the saga was first produced, and intended to be the most complete resource on the SDF Macross series. So looks like the book is going to be slated for release in Japan in January 17th, 2024. So that's some pretty cool stuff. That's coffee table book, right?
I would love to own this, man. If it does get a U.S. publisher, I might just have to pick this up. So
well, there is something called the internet, and I'm sure you could be able to get that there. So, but next one here comes from MCT Dread. It looks like the Gundam Metaverse project temporarily halts client downloads. Oh man, Chris, I'm sure you were pissed when your client downloads were halted.
I think we talked about this.
I think we might.
Did we?
We talked about this. This is
in relation to
the leak of the model kits.
Oh,
we talked about this one.
Yeah,
it looks like you're all the way back in October as well, but still. Let's see here. Yeah, I know. One of the last ones we did.
Oh yeah. Before I went in here. Oh, so November on. Sorry.
November 9th. Anything after November the 9th. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. We do actually prepare.
Sometimes.
No, we don't.
Yazzie says we sound good. Thank you, Yazzie, and shout outs to Frank as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Even though the Game Awards is on right now.
Oh yeah, we did talk about this because it talks about the Gundam that showed up at the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Yes.
Sorry. Indeed. Yeah, crap. I fucked that up. Sorry, folks. first one here comes from, we'll reset, Rodimus76. Haven't heard from him in a while. Looks like there's going to be a Terminator, the anime series, coming to Netflix. I didn't know about this. So there's an anime series of the Terminator.
Yep.
Is it truly anime, or is it that whole like thing now of like, what is anime? It's got to be produced in Japan. Well, what about the stuff that's
like Castlevania?
Yeah.
If you expect this teaser to show you anything, it shows you nothing. By the way, if you watch this video, it's basically just words. It's just text. It's red lines, and yeah, that's it. So no one knows what it looks like yet.
I would just say, like, does Terminator still need to be a thing? Like, can we just we don't need to endlessly exploit every fucking franchise that exists out in the world. Like, just
come on,
fucking let it go.
I mean, just need to go back to formula.
Now, maybe this is a controversial opinion. I actually like Dark Fate. I think it's the best of the non-Cameron movies, and I think it's also the point where we should leave things at.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I liked it too. I actually did like it.
I didn't get a chance to see it. Yeah, I should load it up sometime.
Well, he comes back. Rodimus76 comes back with their, I guess, from Netflix.com. He's got a link to everything you need to know about the live-action Yu Yu Hakusho movie. I knew about this. Like, I know, Sobro, you're a huge fan of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah,
how you feeling about this?
It is the greatest shonen anime ever made. That's what I say. But with one of the greatest villains of all time in Sensui. But I saw the trailer for this, man, and I wasn't mad. Especially how good One Piece was. Yeah, man. If they've taken the same approach like they did with One Piece, this could be really cool. So
yeah, it looks like it's coming out December 14th.
Yeah, man.
So you don't have that much longer to wait.
No. My wife and I will probably watch it. She's a big Yu Yu Hakusho fan too. And I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, it's with the Japanese cast. So we'll probably watch it subbed, and I just hope it holds up like as One Piece did. And fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed.
There you go. And then next one here from Rodimus76. Big surprise. Looks like Peter Cullen, the guy that kind of does like Optimus Prime. I guess he received a Lifetime Achievement Award. And let's see here. Come on, internet. There you go. Yeah, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Hasbro Hall of Fame. Wow, he was already in the Hasbro Hall of Fame. He's been honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences on December 17th.
That's a big
Where's the
honor.
Academy?
It's the people that run the Emmys. It's in California. They run the Emmys.
Oh, is that the new museum out there?
I'm not feeling the preparation on the news here today.
Why?
You said Hasbro Hall of Fame, and then it wasn't.
Well, it says here.
Pipeline.
I'm paraphrasing. Sometimes every newscast can't be the best. I'm sorry. I mean,
okay.
Usually, I am the Walter Cronkite of anime news, but just not today. No, I was paraphrasing because it's Peter Cullen, in addition to being part of the Hasbro Hall of Fame. So, but so that's the people that do you said the Emmys?
Yes, the organization that manages the Emmys. Yeah, the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Jesus.
Scientists.
Yeah, scientists.
See, everybody's catching
I'm fucking up, man.
What is going on?
It's the last show of the year, man. Fuck ups tend to happen.
Exactly.
But no worries.
Yeah, we're just like, whatever. Next one here comes from Rodimus76. I haven't seen this, so I'm sure Solbro has. It looks like Got Pilgrim is back for more on that anime on news Netflix, and there's an article here from Rolling Stone, and looks like Edgar Winter was all about that. He's like, oh yeah, this is cool because he directed the live action movie, right?
Edgar Wright, yeah, he directed the first one.
Yeah. So, but I haven't seen that show. I heard it's pretty good though. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I've just been super busy the last couple of weeks.
A lot of people, especially fans of the movie, have enjoyed it. It's gotten a lot of praise. I know some people. There's one criticism I do see, and it's that Scott is not the focus character throughout the entire series, which is cool
God,
because it has a big cast.
Jesus
So it's like
Christ.
you
It's
take
like
advantage
fucking
of
He-Man all over again.
exactly right. But
Yeah,
you
come
got a
on.
cast of a bunch of talented actors. Allow some of these characters to get expanded upon. But some people want a 1-to-1 translation of the comic, and it's like that's not what you do when you take something from one medium to the other. You play into their strengths for the medium that you're in. And so if you got a problem with what they did here, that doesn't sound like a good criticism to me. So when I watch it,
Well,
I'll take a look.
they
but-
just don't know basic like English definitions. Like adaptation doesn't mean like always word for word or scene by scene. I mean,
some people are just
so-
stringent like that, and it's like you don't make sense to me at all.
nah, they're just stupid.
Absolutely.
Next one here comes from MCT Dread. This is the one that I think Chris wanted to know. The fourth video for the Gundam Seed Freedom film. It unveiled the theme song. So yeah, this is what you wanted, Chris. This is why you're giving me crap because you're like you're not very well prepared. Yeah. The fourth promotional video for Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom film project debuted a few Sundays ago and announces the previews of the theme song Freedom by who other but TM Revolution.
Of course.
I guess his real name is Takanori Nishikawa. So the artist also known as TM Revolution. So is he becoming like the prince of Japan? He was the artist formerly known as TM Revolution.
There you go.
You know what the TM stands for?
Trademark.
Yes. No. It stands for Takanori Makes Revolution.
Really? I had no idea.
Yes, that's what it's always meant. Yes,
Wow.
Okay.
that's what the TM has always meant.
Good to know. Holy shit.
Wow, I learned something today. So yeah, that's Chris, I know you were excited about that. More TM Revolution, more Gundam Seed film. I mean, what a world we live in. Gosh, it just gets better.
Yes, what a world indeed. Full of so many things. Yes.
So many things. Oh, this is the bad one coming from MCT Dread.
Oh.
High dive to end service in certain areas outside of North America on December 14th.
Damn.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Let's see. So it looks like if you live outside of North America, you will only have access till December 31st. There was no reason given for that decision, but their company said we're constantly evaluating the high dive offering and its area's operation. So it probably means that
So in America, so it don't matter to me.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but yeah. So let's see here. Next one comes here. Ooh, Bandai. If this is from MCT Dread, Bandai Namco Filmworks reveals Gundam Silver Phantom feature-length VR anime.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh wow.
This was released during the Anime NYC panel. It's a virtual reality company, Atlas V, is co-producing a full-length VR anime for the Gundam franchise, titled Mobile Suit Gundam Silver Phantom for the Meta Quest. Of course, it's going to be an immersive adventure. I didn't know about this, Chris. This one, I'm surprised. This kind of, I didn't see this when I was like searching the web on things. Do you know anything about this, or?
I mean, it just popped up the other day, and the most we've gotten is they showed a teaser, a very slight teaser that shows a cockpit seat, and it's a Zeta-style panoramic cockpit.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure
wow.
Is. It sure is.
That's the extent of what we know.
Okay.
I would say just from that and from like just the look of the logo, it looks like it's probably UC, but we don't know anything about it. And honestly, like, I don't care about VR. I don't care about MetaQuest. Like, I could not possibly care less about this. And I know I said this before about Icarus Dawn when that was announced, and that proved me wrong. But this is a different situation.
This don't seem practical, man. What are we gonna call this? Mobile Suit
what's
Gundam
the
Facebook?
Like, what's the freaking point? Like,
It's Meta, dude. It's
feature
not
length
Facebook
thing
anymore.
on a freaking
It's Gundam.
Quest headset.
it's Gundam expanding itself into places it's never been. I don't know how effective that's gonna be, but it is interesting. I just don't see myself using it because I don't have any kind of VR setup or headset or anything like that. So
Dude, they've been trying to do VR for like decades now. Like, eh, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't. It's either the technology's not at the point, or I just don't sometimes think people care. I mean, I think in theory it sounds like a good thing, but I just don't think like customers really give a shit at this point. I mean,
I want
it's
a
kind
real
of cool.
holodeck. If you give me anything less than that, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been waiting for that for years. God damn.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll have it right before I die.
Yeah. I want to be like Catherine Janeway and talk to Leonardo.
There you go.
Oh, Katarina.
Katarina.
It's good to have aspirations.
Which, by the way, I was watching that episode of Voyager, not the one. It's the one where she forcibly keeps 7 and 9 there. It's like, you're going to become human no matter what, even though your wish is to go back to the Borg, and in the Federation we respect people's wishes, except for this, you're not going back. It's such a painful.
I know people.
Such a painful
people
episode.
debate that episode, but I would say like it's the same way you would treat someone who's like addicted to drugs or brainwashed by a cult.
Yeah, it's an intervention.
They're not capable of
It should have been called
deciding on their own.
intervention. Yeah, I think it's got some other name to it, but it should have been just called like intervention. But she's so rough. It's like, no, you want to be this. I found this in the archives. This little girl, Annika Hansen. Who the fuck is that? No. I love the overacting sometimes. This is so funny. Oh man.
Overacting in Star Trek.
Yeah. I know, it's like Oh, next one here comes from MCT Dread. Oh, Chris is the other one I know you wanted to go to. Because I know you're sad that this is happening, but Crossbone Gundam Love and Peace manga ends, and the new, unfortunately, it's going to be replaced by Victory Gundam Gaiden manga launches. So, Chris, I know you're probably sad. Do you have anything to say about Crossbone Gundam Love and Peace ending? I mean, it's
Well, as the world's #1 Crossbone fan,
oh boy,
this makes me very, very sad.
I'm sure.
Truly, nobody loves Crossbone more than Chris Guanche. Literally, nobody in this world does.
Put that on the box.
And if anyone says they're a liar,
yeah. So you're ready for the January issue of Katakawan's monthly Gundam Ace. That's going to publish the final chapter. So yeah,
sad
it's
but
already
ready. Yes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're just gonna get stuck with Victory Gundam Gaiden manga that it starts on that'll be in the next issue on December 25th. So yeah, I mean, sometimes good things have to end, Chris. It's okay. It's okay. We feel your pain. So let's see. Oh,
I'm kind of mad you skipped. You skipped the important news. You skipped the E Festival, man. You didn't watch none of it. Not an ounce. It was on like for a full week. It ended with the Hack the Gundam event, man. Y'all didn't see that, huh? I sat through some of it, but I had to stop.
I'm not done.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw it. Okay, my bad.
That's okay. I don't remember seeing that. Did I skip that one?
There was a reference to it in the previous page, but it's all right. Keep going. We'll
okay.
We'll come back to it.
What was it? No, go ahead, Crystal, bro. That's fine.
No, it was a cool event. Basically, they allowed Americans to play these trivia games.
Oh, that one.
And then they got the Gundam to move and all that stuff, and it was hosted by two people who seemed like they sounded like they were from not Germany, but like just from Europe, some European nation, but they were working for Bandai and they were on there, and
they're not Germany, but some European nation.
some nearby. I don't know Austria. They did sound. Okay. They sounded Austrian.
So they sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Kinda. But it was interesting.
Tell me, I'll also. I can't do an Arnold.
They were very pleasant, and you could see that they were excited
Chris,
about it.
Why weren't you on this? Why didn't they invite you? I mean, fuck. What the hell? Why'd they get these jobbers in there? You're the webmaster of MAHQ. You know everything Gundam.
Man.
Is it because you would just
they
rattle off crap?
wouldn't agree to my writers.
Oh no. Only green M&Ms,
Which
y'all.
was I wanted buckets of red gummy M&Ms only.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, red gummies. Oh, okay. Yeah, those are special.
How dare they deny you? But no, it was fun. It was cool. I didn't get to finish watching it, but the little I saw of it, I wish I did participate. It would have been fun. There was a particular game that the woman, one of the two hosts, the woman, she was the one playing the games on stream with the all the people who were watching, and one of them was like memory or like Simon. We had to press these circles on the app. And then when she had to fight the Zeong, you got trained to do it beforehand. When she fought the Zeong, she wasn't paying attention to the section that said watch. She was trying to play it as she was supposed to be watching the pattern. And then when she tried to fight the Zeong, she kept dying. And it's like, man, I wish she paid attention. But it was cool, man. It was a nice interactive, fun bit that they did.
Just give me the live action Mobile Suit Gundam with Timothy Chalamet as Armor.
You know that's gonna happen. You cursing us all with that.
Hey man, I don't have a problem with the guy. I don't have a problem.
Either.
I'm gonna go watch Wonka. So what the fuck?
I liked him in Dune, so I can't front. So we'll see what happens. But it was interesting to say the least. You can watch the run back over on YouTube or over at Gundam.info. So by all means.
So you just watch a lady fail at this game that she should have.
Yeah, but it goes on from there. There's other stuff, I'm sure, and I'm sure it ends in the big finale. So, it was just cool to see the Gundam move. It's 5 a.m. over there in Japan.
I would rather see Chris Guanche just sit there, rattle off. You just get random questions thrown at him about different Gundam series,
Yes.
and see. Chris, how many questions do you think you get right in a row? I think you could possibly get about 50 questions. You're pretty good
Depends
at a
on
lot
the
of
questions.
stuff. Well, dealing with the shows and maybe the mechas.
They asked a wide
I think
swath.
you could probably kill it.
They asked the question like, what was the move that that defeated the Double Gundam at the end of G Gundam? And of course,
love. Thank you.
There you go. You nailed it. Right
There you go.
There you go.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, that was the one that was
they should have
heavily
agreed
missed.
to your rider.
That was one that's heavily missed. So,
I don't even know that. I don't even know that.
Yeah, I knew that.
I just remember it was a cool ass move.
One of my favorite confrontations in all of Gundam. So it was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the one. It was numbers. It was letter C out of the 4 choices that were there. It was multiple choice. But it was
last
cool.
time that I was on Mecha Incident G, when we were in the green room, they were just like throwing random model numbers at me, like to test my might.
Oh yeah, man! I remember that. I remember you talking about that. And you
That's
were
what I'm
nailing it.
saying.
Good shit.
Yes.
There you go. So next one here comes from MCT Dread. The Code Geass Z anime makes an epic return after a long hiatus. Yeah. So it says here, it looks like Code Geass Z of the Recapture was first announced 3 years ago, but after talk and the new series soon faded into silence. That sounds like anime. Fans were left waiting and wondering what happened to it. But it looks like there's an update. Looks like something is going to be happening. It's going to be revealed on December 28th. They put something on the. I'll do like they do on all the actual news sites. The X, formerly known as Twitter, new Code Geass anime titled Code Geass Z of the Recapture. New information will be revealed on December 18th. So, what do you think? Man. Suzaku did it. It's got to be that one, right? It's the film.
Counterattack.
Yeah. Suzaku's counterattack. So
I want to know who this guy with the mask is. There's a masked antagonist that looks like in the background of this sketch right here. But
wouldn't be a Sunrise show without one, right?
Would not be, man. You got to go back to formula sometimes. You got to. But
somehow it's Lelouch.
It's somehow. I don't know how, but,
but somehow it's Lelouch.
Yes.
Somehow.
it looks interesting. I've been kind of starved for something like Code Geass again. So if this comes out and it's a full on series, more power to it. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Well, you'll find out in 11 days.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Righteous.
Oh man. Yeah, MCT Dread comes back with this. This was making the rounds the last week or so. The Gundam Requiem for Vengeance animation second teaser announced on the Netflix Global. Yeah, this is basically Requiem for Vengeance, aka Igloo 3. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of seen this. There's going to be 6 30-minute episodes that will stream worldwide. Story focuses on the European front during the 1-year war made famous by the first Gundam. I bet there's going to be some really Germanic-looking guys in this. Centers on...
It's all woke because it's about a lady pilot.
Oh, no!
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Iria, sorry.
Female pilot. I don't like female pilots. I
Yeah.
just like women to die to make men sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
That's pretty much what it is. So, yeah, I've seen the trailer. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Yeah, it looks like Igloo 3, basically. I mean, any thoughts?
Hopefully with fewer creepy faces and with no, Xeon fan wank.
Yeah, Jesus, man, that's what we're hoping. Yeah, this is the face of New Gundam, guys, right here, right there, guys, right there. That's what. So if
Future is female.
you want to scream woke, go right on the head. I could give a fuck. It looks like it could be cool, and I'm interested to see this this I guess collaboration production between two coasts. So it looks better than Igloo, but Igloo was a product of its time and technology, so this should look better. I don't think they're going to conquer the Uncanny Valley, but hopefully the faces do look better. They look better to me, so we'll see, man. I'm excited to watch it, though, and there's only 6 episodes that are 30 minutes, and I don't know if you said it. Is it all going to be dumped at once? It's Netflix, so I'm assuming it would be.
I don't know. I didn't know if they said that or not. Let's see here.
Netflix drops everything.
Yeah.
And halves their holes. So
Unless it's Squid Game.
I would imagine probably a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably think this is all going to be dropped at once.
Yeah.
So, I guess we already we know one topic for 2024.
Yeah.
So. And talking about this, we finished up with MCT Dread. Oh man, Soul Bro, I'm sure you heard about this, and I'm sure you're mad. Andor Season 2 likely delayed to 2025. What the hell, man?
Yeah,
what's going on?
I heard about that, man. That's
the only Star Wars show we care about is gonna get delayed. Like, what is wrong with Disney? Like, the one thing that people actually want to see, they're gonna be like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna delay it." Let me see. What's the delay for? Early. Well, I'm about to tell.
Go for it.
Spoiler. Soul Bro news spoiler.
You bet.
So looks like a source confirmed the show is going that. So there's an Acolyte and Skeleton crew.
Yep.
Oh, so they're doing something. Oh.
Yeah, they're pushing it out because.
Okay. Who's Acolyte? Is that somebody in the
It's a series that takes place during the High Republic era, which is 100 years before the prequels.
Why? Who cares about that?
They've been pushing them in the books and other medias for a while, but it's a murder mystery, is what it is. And
but nobody cares. But nobody cares about that. Like,
people, you know what? You know, you can say that now, but people said no one cares about Cassian Andor either. And lo and behold, that show was pretty cool. So it's being directed and run.
But I'm being greedy corporate guy.
Okay.
Disney is like completely striking out lately. Why not give people something to give? Because nobody cares about that. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good, but people want Andor. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you can't do them. You can't do them in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's stupid.
What has me excited about Acolyte is that it's run by Leslie Headland, who produced Russian Doll on Netflix, which was a cool show. And it had kind of like a dark sense of humor and whatnot, but she's a completely different filmmaker than most showrunners. So I'm hoping that carries over into this show. It's got a good cast, and the premise intrigues me. If it's going to be like some noirish type premise with fucking Jedis and Sith, that's got me intrigued. I love film noir, so we'll see how they execute it. But I've heard good things, and Skeleton Crew I'm also intrigued into. So that's just me.
Chris, what about you? What would you? Yeah, I'd rather just get
I can take or leave pretty much any Star Wars show aside from Andor right now.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it may be good, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, it could be bad too. So
yeah, I mean, if I was Bob Iger, I'd be calling people in my office right now, like, what the fuck?
I'm not as upset as I am that they pushed back Andor. I can understand that they
because Andor is from like Andor's a year or two ago now.
Yeah, almost 2 years. It's gonna be 2 years.
Yeah.
By September of next year.
That's
right?
fucked, dude.
But
like that's really fucked.
I get the reasoning though, and that is because
what's the reasoning? Because of this show?
No,
a show about the High Republic that nobody cares about.
Disney Plus has been catching wreck because of the fact that they've crammed too much into their service. So they're stretching out all the Marvel stuff and they're stretching out all the Star Wars stuff to give people time to kind of let it digest and not overflood the market.
Yeah, but they didn't stuff that much Star Wars stuff. They just gave us crappy Star Wars. Like the only good Star Wars they gave us in the last like couple of years, they want to delay it more. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's stupid. I don't understand that. I don't understand that vision. It's dumb.
Well, speaking of visions, there were Star Wars Visions that came out. It came and went twice over, and a bunch of other stuff that came out. So I get the reason if they want to kind of preserve the IP and not and make it more of a special event. It makes sense. And on top of that, the same year Andor is now coming out, 2025. The next Star Wars movie is going to hit theaters. So I don't know if they're going to do something to kind of time the releases between both. But I don't know.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
It is.
It's pretty stupid. Like so they're going back to the High Republic, something that unless you're a complete Star Wars nerd, you could give 10 shits about. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm speaking as the common man. I'm going to be like a politician right now. I'm Joe Plumber. I'm Joe Kitchen Table. Like, when I know my Star Wars, I don't know about no High Republic. I just know about Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi and these people. But I mean, it is pretty dumb though. I mean, Andor was a fucking great show.
Yeah. Take me as far away from the Skywalkers as possible, and if they have to go back 100 years in time to do it, I'm cool with that. So that's me. But if I had my choice,
had Andor. There was no Skywalkers in Andor.
If I had my choice, Andor would be out today.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
# fire Bob Iger.
Oh damn! All right, let's go.
Yeah, fire him. Exactly right. Yeah. So. That's the news. Do you guys have any news? Solbro, Chris, do you have any MHQ news?
No.
I mean, shout outs to Fredericks in the chat. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir. He gave a rousing review of Godzilla -1. He's eating well today, and they just dropped that trailer for Godzilla Cross Kong as well. What's it called? The new God damn it! It's not the New World. Or is it? I have to look it up. But that trailer looked interesting.
New Empire.
The New Empire. There you go. It looks fun. Yeah. And then you got Monarch on.
Except for everybody was complaining that Godzilla was jogging.
Oh, he
was. Which I thought was funny.
He was hauling ass, baby. He was hauling ass. Then someone combined it with the Avengers Assemble scene from Endgame. That shit is hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
It's great.
I don't know, Fred. You could say in the chat, but have you seen Monarch: Legacy of Monsters? That's a really good series.
I'm sure he's watching it.
Like I was telling these guys, somebody that doesn't even know Godzilla. Like the only thing we know of, we have like this little plush toy for Foxy called Godzilla. And it's like this cute little dinosaur, but we call it Godzilla because she's Japanese and Godzilla. So, but even she's like into it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah,
Godzilla fans are eating well. That's all I know. They're eating it up.
There you go. Well, I've heard this -1 is even for non-Godzilla fans.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's exactly what Fred said. There's people who are like moviegoers that have never seen a Godzilla movie or going out to see this movie. So that already tells you that's it's getting a lot of
and I
praise
heard it's
attention.
also got my favorite thing.
Mhm.
It's about 2 hours because this 2+ hours shit now is just terrible. Oh God,
Yo,
I've seen.
you want to see
Have you
another
guys?
Oppenheimer?
No, I don't, and I didn't even want it. And after watching the first one, I'm like, oh God.
Yo, what about Killers of the Flower Moon? You ready to see that?
Yeah, I watched that too.
Oh,
I
shit.
saw that too, and yeah.
Woo!
I mean, love you, Martin Scorsese, but not your best work there, bud.
Yo, put it on, put it on the box. -1 is the best thing in the franchise since the original. It says Fred. Good shit. That's what's up, man. I'm ready to see it, Fred.
That's what I've heard.
Ready to see it, baby. All right.
But screw Godzilla at this point.
We gotta get to
Not
work.
literally, but we got to get to some Loki season 2 on Disney Plus.
Let's get it.
And Chris, you want to give us a quick synopsis of Loki? Can you? Do you think it's possible?
Well, does an ant have a quarrel with a boot?
It's a short conversation. That's all I know.
that is true. Yes.
So season 2 picks up where season 1 left off, with Loki jumping through time in ways that visually look very disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to avert a crisis when he jumps to the future, which shows that the temporal loom is falling apart because He Who Remains engineered it to only be able to support the sacred timeline. And now that he's gone and all these branches are forming, the branches are overwhelming the temporal loom, and he and his old pal, his friend Mobius.
It's like he's here.
They're trying to figure it out with the help of Ouroboros, played with great enthusiasm by Ki Huy Kwan.
Hell yeah!
Coming off that Oscar win, and he's the writer of the TVA manual, which you soon find out is in itself a bootstrap paradox.
Yeah.
So to be able to access the temporal loom and adjust it, they need the DNA of He Who Remains, but He Who Remains is gone, so they have to try to track down one of his variants, and their search takes them to the Chicago World's Fair, where there is a variant who goes by the name Victor Timely, who has invented kind of his own steampunk version, if you will, of the temporal loom. But he's also being hunted by Renslayer and Miss Minutes, and a lot of back and forth shenanigans happen, and then we end up having Victor Timely try to help out and get himself spaghettied in a very gross way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which is,
That
definitely
was a disturbing effect.
Yes,
that was a disturbing effect.
It disturbed me in the way of the melting people in Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh man!
Like every time I saw that, where that poor bastard kept going to the door, it's like, let's do it again. It's like oh my God.
Yeah. Sylvie pops up, living her best life, working at McDonald's in like the early '80s. I don't know why that's so great for her, but it is.
Yeah. Quick question.
Is creepy
that had to have been major product promotion, because McDonald's was all over the place.
It sure was.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So in the end, they're unable to fix the temporal loom, and the TVA is destroyed, and everything is destroyed. Loki has tried to put together a crew to fix everything, but is unable to. So he, with no other choice, ends up mastering these time jumps that he's doing, and resets himself back to the moment when Timely was going to go out and get spaghettied. He decides to go do it himself, and he, with his magic powers, kind of just grabs on all these strains to keep everything energized and fixes everything, but sort of becoming the god of time, I guess, now, and just chilling there by himself all lonely while everyone goes about their businesses living their happy lives, and Loki's just forever alone keeping time together. That's a very brief synopsis of season 2.
So, bro,
Yes.
what are some of your thoughts there?
Wow, man. This is by far my favorite Disney Plus Marvel show. And basically they nailed the landing, which has been a big problem with a lot of these shows. Usually it's a good build up for some of them, and then it just crashes and burns in the last episode. But this brought the whole thing full circle. I mean, I should have known when they named the first and the last episodes of the entire series the same damn thing, Glorious Purpose. But they tied in every aspect of Loki's journey into this series, going through the MCU. Even the stuff that this Loki didn't go through, but we saw the Prime Loki go through, even some of that stuff is kind of called back, and his character change. And granted, this is only like a week or two in real time for him that he's going through this, but it's so shocking and such a shock to the system to him that, he kind of just adjusts and gets on board with this because he's found a bunch of people that inevitably become his kind of found family in all of this, and it changes him throughout the course of the series, especially with Sylvie. When he runs into at the end of the last season, when he runs to He Who Remains, that's a come to Jesus moment for him, because he's found a real threat that only he might be able to deal with, and that completely drives this season considerably so. And when we revisit that moment in the final episode, and we get the Groundhog Day kind of situation where he's having to kind of repeat sequences and learn things that take hundreds of years for him. So I guess it's longer than 2 weeks for him, but hundreds of years, centuries in this case, for him to learn metaphysics and all that shit. For him to just have a deeper appreciation.
You know what that all reminded me of in the moment?
What's that?
And my wife definitely agreed as we were watching this. Rock Tack in Prodigy.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
That did talk.
When
That
she
did,
was
like that.
alone for God knows how many years,
Yeah,
and she
man.
learned science to figure out the solution to the problem.
that episode still is, it still lingers in my mind because of the way that was that unfolded. And you're right, that is very similar to this. But just to watch the moment where he's gone through this thing so many times, he knows everything that everyone's gonna say, and it's Tom Hiddleston's way of just taking this material and elevating it. I heard that it was actually his idea, and he did it kind of off the cuff when he says "for us, for all time." When he says that, it's a callback to the end of Thor when he's hanging off the Rainbow Bridge and talking to Odin. That he said, "I did it for us. I did it for you. I did it for all of us." And then he calls that back at the end of this. It brings that whole arc of his full circle right at that moment, and it's incredible to see him walk down that aisle and then transform into the original Loki from the comics, and then finally accept his glorious purpose after he talked about it for over a decade, and to see exactly how much of a cursed gift it is. It's a brave way to end this show, and it makes you wonder what's coming next for him, if anything. But going back to the show, man, some of the standout episodes, episode 3 would definitely be when they go to Chicago. I believe that episode's called 1893, and they show how the Prime timeline got splintered off into different other timelines because they dropped that TVA book in the window of young Victor Timely, and then he takes that and uses the technology in that book to get where he's at and becomes a very important person down the road, man. It had some disturbing moments, like with Miss Minutes talking about wanting to be somebody's girlfriend. That shit was wild.
That's the creepy A's we got to watch out for.
Woo, boy, AI, man. Every day it reminds me of how fucked up it can be. But Miss Minutes is still a fun character to watch unfold, and I liked when she turned into kind of like a 1920s cartoon character in the 1800s. That was a neat touch. But Victor Tomley, I mean, it's hard not to talk about because the trial's going on right now. I'm not going to touch upon the trial. But Jonathan Majors, controversial figure, but hell of a performer, man. And he can definitely depict multiple characters. I wasn't crazy about the ending of Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 with all those Kangs. It just seemed silly to me. But anytime I see him in this show specifically, he definitely steals it. And I am a little torn that they're going to be moving on from Kang. I'd rather they recast him, if anything. But since they're moving on from
No,
him,
he sucks. That character sucks.
That character has a lot of potential as far as I'm concerned. But if
that character's terrible,
man, I don't know, man.
There's so many other things in comics.
Yeah,
there's so many other stories that you can do.
Yeah,
I've never been a big fan of Kang. I
Right.
get it, the whole he's future version of Doctor Doom and all this other crap, but I don't know. There's plenty of other things you can do. I don't think it's an end all be all that you have to have him in there, and I think it probably does make sense to just kind of move on because what they got right now is just it wasn't working.
There's merit to what you're saying. To me, the best Kang I've ever seen is on Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So I kind of wanted that Kang to be in this series, this continuity as well when it comes to just how he was depicted there, and the storylines they unfolded there too was really cool. So I can see the potential in the character, but it might just be best to kind of retire him, given all the hubbub that's going on right now.
I think remember the thing I used to say about early on the MCU when it was starting to. There's certain things I think work in live action, and there's some that aren't.
Right.
I don't think that character works in live action. I just don't feel that it just doesn't work.
In this series, he was.
I mean, it could have worked maybe it's a different way if somebody wrote it differently.
Sure.
But we got to go by what we got.
Yeah, I mean, in this series, he was compelling to me, and the conversation between him and Loki towards the end, I thought was a very good one. I love the chemistry between the two of them, and I love the menace that he gave off during that conversation. So to me, there was potential, but if they replace him with someone even more threatening, that's cool too. You know, at this point,
It's not even threatening. It's just I just don't know if that. Character works in this thing. I mean, that's just kind of my opinion, and that was kind of the thing I felt with it. I'm just like, I get Kang, I get his importance in Marvel Comics, but maybe it might have worked if we did somebody different. I don't know, Chris. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that Timely was an interesting character, and the whole thing of that especially that moment when Renslayer wanted to kill him, and he's like, "You don't know me."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
This theme throughout these two seasons of like, these people may look like people that you know, but they are variants, and they all have had different lives, and just because many versions of this person are fated to be bad, it doesn't mean that you can judge this other version for the same.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I think that was a cool moment to come to. Jonathan Majors, his personal issues aside, I thought he was great in this series. Way better than his appearance in Quantumania, which not written as a very threatening villain. It's hard to take someone seriously as a villain and as the next big bad after Thanos when they have butt-faced MODOK working for them in just the stupidest possible implementation of that character, who I generally am very dismissive of and think that is a horrible character. It should never have been done in live action at all.
That's a thing where they cater to fans' demands to see him. And it's like, it's just not practical.
Who the fuck actually wanted to see MODOK in live action?
That's all
I didn't.
I wasn't crying for it personally. I always thought he was a weird character.
It comes back to my argument of sometimes certain things may not work in live action. I mean, they might be iconic characters, but maybe it doesn't work. I mean, I've said this. I've said this famously a couple times with me and Solbro back in the day when they announced Thor, and he was like, "I can't believe they're doing Thor," and I'm like, "Yeah, I think that could work." And it's just because, it's like, like think of like the Fantastic Four. That's going to be the interesting thing, is because it hasn't worked, and you would think it would work in live action, but it just doesn't. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just the writing, but it's the same thing with Kang with me. It's like, I like Timely. I thought that was interesting, but it's, and I'm not even going, with the guy's personal issues, but still, I mean, if they have to recast them, just recast them. If they're going to go forward, just recast them. I mean, it's not like they haven't recasted people and Marvel before,
Hey man,
and it's worked out.
I'm not against another black actor getting a shot. So if they did recast them, it'd be super cool. But it looks like they're going another route according to rumors. But one of the cool things about the show, man, is that they dropped Easter eggs and crumbs about every one of the main characters of the series. But going back to season 1, if you look at it, like B-15 had guilt issues when they were terminating timelines, and then she eventually had a come to Jesus moment when she was locked up by Ravonna Renslayer and was telling her what they were doing was wrong. She got filled with conviction. Turns out she was a nurse or a doctor in the real world back in 2012. I guess when her I guess her event took place and she ended up in the TVA. And then you got Casey, who was hoarding a bunch of like jewels and shit. Granted, it made it look like he was just keeping them in his drawer, but I think it was something subconscious with him. And it turns out he was a thief that was one of the cats that escaped Alcatraz back in 1922. My wife knew what was going on before I did when we were watching that scene, because she's a big Alcatraz nut. When we watched that, you've got, of course, the thing with the jet ski and Mobius, and it turns out he was a guy who sold jet skis. And then there's this other examples of that throughout the series, but they played it really well with connecting the dots with a lot of characters. But did someone want to say something? I was hearing somebody speaking.
Not I.
All right, cool. Well, and that leads me to OB, man. Of course, played by Ki-hee Kwan. Man, it's just good to see him on screen, period. I have yet to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I'll be watching it soon.
Dude,
yeah,
seriously?
I know. I just we have a
Get out of here.
We have a backlog of movies. I know, right? I'm ashamed of myself too, but I'll be watching it very soon. Very much. 1962 is when the breakout happened. My bad. But
Dude, haven't you ever seen Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood? It's literally that event.
That's the event, man. If that's the case, then I need to watch that too. But I'm behind the movies. But yeah, his character was one of the best parts about this season, just from introduction to the moments he took. Episode 5 is definitely a spotlight for him, to find out that he is a failed writer that ends up writing one of the most important books of all time, the TVA Handbook, and he'll end up in a position where he becomes very impactful in a sense. It gave me a little bit of a scare, because he's writing a book that just ends up being stocked up in his warehouse basically, and it's not selling, and I'm working on a book, so I don't want to end up the same way, but but his character was very fun. I thought he may have turned out to be a surprise villain, but I'm glad to see that did not happen, thank God. And every time he was on the screen, he lit it up, man. There's some bit players in this that would pop in and out that I always enjoy seeing, like what's her name, General Dox, played by Kate Dickey, who I'll never be able to scrub out of my brain from Game of Thrones. She was I think the queen. Do
not even go there.
Yo,
Stop.
Hey man. Hey, I'm not trying to say what happened. I'm just saying I can't scrub it out my brain. I'm sorry.
I know what happened. You're reminding me, and I don't want to be reminded.
My bad. But she's a great actress. I've seen her in other things too. She's fantastic. And Liz Carr is Judge Gamble. Last time I saw her was on The Witcher, actually, and it's like, yo, I know that lady. She's from The Witcher, but it's cool to see her in this. And Yeah, man, all the characters. I guess one of my complaints is that I wish we'd have gotten more with the supporting cast, but in 6 episodes it's kind of tough to do. So I do understand what they were the restraints they had. Ravonna Renslayer, I don't think was in this season enough, but she had impact in the moments that she was, and episode 3 kind of focused on her anyway. And it showed a turning point for the character, and she's pretty ruthless. There's a scene in this show that is pretty gross in the theater of the mind, and just seeing people's reactions after that was crazy. But I won't go on much.
Yeah, it was squishy and crunchy for sure.
The sound, baby.
Yeah.
Woo! But before
Yeah.
I'll stop rambling on. I will just say that this show came together in an incredible way. Props to everybody who worked on it. Props to Tom Hiddleston for being a producer on the show and caring so much about it, and really pulling off one of the best character journeys in all of the MCU, straight up and down. To me, he might have the best character arc in all of it. That's up for debate, but I honestly would put my money on that. But I'm gonna pass it back to you guys so you guys can give your thoughts.
Chris?
So overall, I enjoyed the show. Talking about both seasons, I think it was inventive. You know, it says something that at this point it's the only MCU Disney Plus show to have gotten a second season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The visual design continues to be incredible with that retro future look of TVA and all the new parts that we see of it. And I think Ouroboros is a great character to throw in, and it was good to see like all of the backgrounds of these people from their variant lives. And again, I thought that Timely was an interesting character, and that Jonathan Majors' performance was good as this very like eccentric weirdo, you know, black inventor trying to make a name for himself in 1890s Chicago. Like, you know, what a weird confluence of occurrences. But I think that he was one of the more compelling characters. My biggest knock against the season is Sylvie just being bumped down to almost nothing. Like,
yeah, man,
she went from being a co-lead in the first season to not much more than glorified cameos in the second season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It's almost like they didn't know what to do with her. It's almost like they didn't know what to do with her character, so they just shunned her off to the side and sidelined her. I don't know if maybe the actress was unavailable doing something else, so they had to like reduce her role or what, but it was disappointing to see her reduced in scope so much compared to the first season.
Yeah, that was the point that I was kind of in the same thing, because it's, you know, it's like, oh, Loki's trying to find her, but then you don't really see her, and even when she shows up, not much there, and you know, so
yeah.
But anything else, Chris?
That's it for the moment.
Okay. So, yeah, I kind of agree the same way. I mean, you guys brought up great points. I think one of the cool things about it is you get to see the thing with the TVA and the people that work for it, that the fact that they peek in on what their variant life would be like, except for Mobius, even though he's got that strong he's compelled to personal watercraft, and then when he finally finds it out, I mean, because people would do that in the end. I mean, if you had access to a timeline, you're going to be like, and you know that there's a version of you in each timeline, it would be interesting to see what you would do.
Yeah.
So
I will add one thing I was going to say and forgot until just now. At the part where, you know, when you start to see Loki have to learn science, and then he starts sciencing and he's jumping through time, I'm watching and thinking to myself, you know, in another world where Tom Hiddleston didn't join the MCU, he would have made a great Doctor.
He would have, right? This whole show is an audition for that.
Yeah,
he's too big for that now.
Oh yeah.
But like in you know, another world where he was not big from the MCU, I could see him being cast as a Doctor and him doing a great job with it, because he just captures that perfectly, like in this last episode of the season?
Hiddleston as House tonight on Fox. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I think it's a great love letter and kind of a great send off of Loki. I mean, because in the end, he's just kind of in time, kind of patching up everything. I don't know. I mean, you guys might know more than I do, but I mean, is Tom Hiddleston? Is he gonna be in any of the movies? Is he out of his contract? I mean, is this it? Yeah. So it's like
all the indications right now are that this is it.
Yeah. So he's the last. He almost seems like the last tie to the actual, the original run of the MCU up to Phase 4. I mean, I know that there's some characters that are going to spill over, but I mean, he's always been more the breakout character. As much as I love Thor and stuff, it's always been about Loki. I mean, for God's sakes, he even made the slow moving, Thor: The Dark World somewhat enjoyable. So, I mean, I would say outside of Robert Downey Jr., he is probably the most iconic from that first batch of the MCU up until Endgame. I mean, so yeah. But so, bro, any downsides?
As I mentioned, I wish we got more of the supporting cast. We didn't get the Loki variants back from season 1. We didn't really spend that much time at the end.
Where's Gator Loki, man?
Yeah, man.
Where is Gator
just
Loki?
wanted one more scene with Gator Loki, man. Just one. But that they probably had to sacrifice it because I think this season might have had a lower budget than the last. I think 6 episodes was a little short.
They could have taken some of that money from Secret Invasion.
Yes.
And that would have been an easy transfer.
As much money as that show cost to make, yo, man, fuck.
If I was evil Bob Iger, that's what I would have done.
I would have canceled that project and just put all that money into Loki, man. Let him stick that landing even harder.
What are you saying? $200 million for Secret Invasion? This is bullshit. Give it to Loki. Transfer $50 million immediately on me. Say it's from Bob.
I forgot to mention this, but in one of the good things, one of the little kind of touches that they put in, the scene where Mobius was dealing with his kids, or Dawn was dealing with his kids. One of them was dressed in a orange shirt. One of them was dressed in a green shirt, and one of them I think was playing with a snake or something like that. And when that kid ran off. Mobius told his other son, "Is go get him." They kind of pseudo stand-ins for young Thor and Loki, which is really really cool to see. It's I didn't realize it would have that kind of correlation, but that was interesting. I wonder if you saw Loki react to that when it happened. So I thought that was him recognizing that. So that was really cool. But other things I disliked. Sylvie, man, I gotta echo that, man. I thought that she wasn't utilized that much. I think there was a lot left on the cutting room floor or in the writers' room that they probably planned to do for this and continue the kind of dynamic between her and Loki. But they kept what mattered, and they put her in a good place. Some of this stuff may actually bubble over into another Marvel project, and we'll talk about that when we get into where we think the MCU is going.
You got insight?
I have a little bit. I have a little bit. There's been some leaks. There's been some leaks.
Oh man,
there's been some leaks. I'm gonna save them to the end of the conversation just in case anybody wants to dip out before I talk about this stuff because it may spoil some things about an upcoming project. But I don't think this is the last we've seen of Loki. One of the executives, I want to say it might have been Feige or someone else way up at Marvel, said that one of the goals for them is to reunite Thor and Loki. So I think Loki at least has one last appearance in the MCU somewhere, and they've been talking about a Thor 5. So if more than likely it'll probably be in that. Also, the way they set up Loki right now, he could become Avenger Prime, who could lead everybody during Secret Wars. So you were
just all over the place.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
They
set him up perfectly to be Avenger Prime. So we'll see if that happens. It may not, but they set him up perfectly. Right now he's the god of stories. So they brought a couple things to pass already. So I think that's super cool, and I'm interested in the potential. But I'll throw it back to you guys. That's pretty much all the complaints I got.
Chris, what's your complaint?
I already said it.
Oh,
Okay.
he already did.
Yeah, and I don't really. I mean, I echo Chris's about Sylvie, and things that Solbro said too. It's I think in the end, it's good that this got a second season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's still like, I don't know. We'll talk to this on the other side once we give our ratings, but I just don't know what it does for the overall plan. But it was enjoyable, and I feel like it was just a great send off for the character and for the actor that played him. I felt that was the biggest thing there, and he deserves it. I mean, the guy deserves it. I mean, he killed it. I mean, that actor. I mean Todd Hiddleston. It really basically made him, and it's like he's such a good actor. And he's he made Loki what Loki is in what you would want the god of mischief. And yeah, guys, I guess Chris, you want to give us your rating?
Sure, I'll give this season 4 squishy boxes of decreasing size out of 5.
Good lord.
So, bro,
I'm gonna go ape shit, man. I really enjoyed this.
of course you will.
It is right now the bar set for the type of MCU show I want to see on Disney Plus. I'm gonna give it 5 Rutherfords out of 5. Shout outs Rutherfords, man. You don't know, man. My man Eugene Cordero plays Casey, right? And there was a little bit of crossover between this and Lower Decks coming out on the same day, airing side by side. So we go from one show.
You know what? I'm gonna go to the Independent Arbiter, and they said that your rating has to be redone because that would be a Lower Decks rating. So we need a Loki season 2 rating, not Rutherford. Come on.
Well, it was cool to see him back in 2 back-to-back shows that I would watch back-to-back every Thursday. I'll give it 5 handbooks out of 5. I'll definitely give it that. I really enjoyed this. Watching the ending of this makes me want to just go back and start it all over again, or just watch Loki's whole journey all over again, which is one of the big things this show I think wants to encourage people to do. So, fantastic series, and I hope we get to see Loki at least one last time. And we'll talk about that in a moment.
And I'm going to give it 5 McDonald's product placements out of 4 McDonald's product placements out of 5. Sorry.
There you go, man.
I'm going to give it 5.
When the apple pies was the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, they were delicious back then. Boy, when Homeboy said how good they were, it's like, yeah, man, they were really good. I think they had cherry pies back then too, but it's a vague memory for me.
Because goddamn, that shit was all over the place. Holy crap! It made me hungry for McDonald's a few times. I'm like, ooh, that would be kind of good right now. But I digress. All right, so guys, I guess we're just gonna kind of flow a little bit here. The MCU. It's been the continuation after Endgame. It's been interesting. We mentioned that this is the only. I think Chris mentioned this is the only Disney Plus show for the MCU that got a second season. There's been some back and forth with some of the movies. Some movies are not good. Some are they're good, but I guess maybe they're not getting certain things. But I don't know. I guess, let's just kind of riff on this. I guess the first question is what do you guys feel about what's going on right now with the MCU? I mean, do you feel confident? Do you even understand what's going on?
I'll jump in on that.
Yeah.
And the answer to both of those questions is no.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, there was obviously a lot of doubt about the MCU. I remember at the start, Iron Man would, Robert Downey's just an alcoholic and this is going to be a failure, and oh, the Avengers is going to be a failure, and Guardians, oh, there's a talking tree and a raccoon, and this is going to be a failure. And then, every time that kept not happening, it proved the success of what Marvel was doing, and eventually it just became a foregone conclusion that MCU movies would be successful, and for quite a while they were.
Yeah.
But as I watched this develop, I knew that just naturally speaking, there would be a point that the MCU would start to enter decline. Like, you cannot have 20, 30 plus movies, tons of TV shows coming out, and it's of the same good reception every single time forever.
Yeah.
Or you might say for all time, always. It just can't. Like, they had to screw up at some point. I would say that it did not have to be at this point, and yet here we are. Because Disney created this corporate mandate, as Bob Iger was leaving and being replaced by Bob Chapek. So Bob Iger is coming and talking like he's fixing a mess. It's like, no, you created this mess as you were heading out the door.
He sure was.
So you should be taking the blame yourself and not putting it on the other Bob, even though he's got plenty to be blamed for.
Oh, no doubt.
So you had this overriding command from the top of, we need to feed content into the Disney Plus beast at all costs. And we saw how that started to play out. First, there was a slow trickle with stuff like Mandalorian, but it really went into high gear during COVID. And for a longest time, you would see that it's like, okay, here's a Marvel show, and as soon as the Marvel show ends, here's a Star Wars show. Maybe actually there was some overlap there in the end. And then the Star Wars show ends, and here's a Marvel show. And then the Marvel show ends, and here's something else. It's like, it just kept going and going and going. And obviously the idea is to keep you subscribed the entire year so that you don't feel like you're experiencing FOMO.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that becomes exhausting, especially when the quality of some of these series is very evidently lacking.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Feige is one man, and he can only be split in so many directions. He can only be involved with the development of so many projects, and it shows.
Exactly.
It showed in the movies. It showed in the TV series, and we saw all these cracks start to form in Phase 4. Also, just because of the total ambiguity of where this is all going.
Yes.
I was saying earlier before we started recording that, Thanos appearing at the end of the first Avengers was just an Easter egg. It was not meant to be laying the seeds for future storylines. It just happened to work out that way. But in the first 3 phases, we would just see every once in a while, what's Thanos up to? He's kind of, biding his time, working on his plan, doing stuff, making progress, and then finally Infinity War into Endgame. All this multiverse stuff, what's this leading to? A bunch of Kangs? Like, no, he was a complete non-threat in Quantumania. He was the bad villain. And when they had that post-credit scene of the Council of Kangs, I laughed because it just looked so... I felt like I was watching the Council of Ricks from Rick and Morty.
Thank you.
And it just felt completely underwhelming. Like, this guy is not threatening. This guy is a joke. You had him appear as a big villain for his big debut, and he got beat up by the shrinking crook.
Well, yeah, I mean,
not how this guy is not the next Thanos if the shrinking crook whooped his ass
single-handedly, almost.
Yeah. You're saying something, Neo?
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I think it's even more simpler than that, because even for Thanos, the whole idea was just to get the Avengers together. And I think that was like the first thing. So it's like, okay, you have the first Iron Man movie, you get the stinger at the end with, Samuel L. Jackson coming in as Nick Fury and talks about the Avengers. And then that's just kind of the thing. It's like, the simple thing, once you start getting the other movies, is like, okay, here's Captain America, here's Thor. They're kind of, they're the baseline Avengers. the fact of the first Avengers movie was just getting them together. And then, like you said, at the end, the stinger is, oh, okay, the invasion was basically because of Thanos. And then Thanos disappears for, what, 3 or 4 movies? I don't think you even see. I mean, the way they even depict him, it's a different actor or a different, model that they use for the CGI than what ends up being. So it's the same thing. It's like, what are we trying to achieve here? Like, are we trying to get a different set of heroes together? Are we just like, here is Kang and he's just the multiverse guy that does whatever? And it's very bizarre. I don't know.
Also, they literally started Phase 4 with Black Widow, which is a movie that is one phase too late. Obviously, I know that's because of politics and Ike Perlmutter and nonsense, but it's like, this is your multiverse saga, and you are introducing this phase with what is essentially just a big old flashback movie.
Yeah.
Of a character that was pivotal in, like the big emotional scene of your, ultimate ending of that huge saga of I think it was like the 11th or 12th movie at that point. It's like, what do you do? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't get it. And, they see now very obvious conclusion that anybody could have told them 3 years ago, which was that they emphasized quantity over quality. And every time you do that in any type of entertainment, the outcome is obvious.
Sure is.
Flood the market. There's a bunch of subpar shit, and then your product takes a hit. This was completely foreseeable and avoidable, if not for the fact that, Disney's corporate administration, they had to get those subscriber numbers up because that's what Wall Street wanted. And Bob Chapek, his critical mistake that fed into this problem was they met their initial numbers, and then he raised the target of how big Disney Plus's user base would be by 2024 when they expect it to be profitable.
Exactly.
And they are nowhere near those numbers. And it's like, this guy made the classic leadership mistake of overpromising and under-delivering.
Yeah, man. This year especially, with all the losses they've taken.
He should have done the opposite.
Yeah.
He should have lowered expectations so that you could under-promise and over-deliver.
That's a smart move.
He didn't do that. He did these that, and all of this content is paying the price for it, and now by extension the MCU, because people are starting to lose interest. Quantumania obviously had a big drop in its box office after its opening weekend. The critical reception was pretty bad even for the MCU. Obviously the Marvels has not done well, and it's been savaged mostly by incels because they're enjoying their schadenfreude from the woke female movie being the first failure of the MCU. But, I think the MCU fatigue has definitely become a real thing because, back in the day when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started and they did lots of tie-ins to the MCU, it was always a one-way street.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. acknowledging the movies, but the movies never acknowledging any of these shows because the philosophy at Marvel Studios was, we don't want you to have to watch all these TV shows and feel that you've missed anything.
Yeah.
Clearly, from Phase 4 onward, with the Disney corporate mandate to just create as much, content as possible, Disney Plus, that philosophy is gone, and it's like, fuck you, we don't care if you didn't watch these 2 movies and these 5 TV shows before this project that brings everything together get bent. And that's also where they went wrong. And they said it exactly as aggressively as that. I saw it. I was there.
Transcribed it and all.
Yeah. Yeah. Direct quotation from Bob Chapek and Bob Iger. They both said the same thing.
You heard it here.
Yeah. So in essence, this is what I see as the problem.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with a good formula for how to make successful movies, then they forgot it.
Yeah, they did. That's no true statement of that. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I know there's been a lot of talk about people who are experiencing FOMO with especially during the Marvels when you see characters like Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau in there and not know where they're from. Watching that movie, I didn't really have much of a problem with it. It did explain basically quickly what their backgrounds were. But you know, I always thought that FOMO was a part of the MCU in at least a way, shape, or form. Like there were people in the audience when I went to go see Iron Man that had no idea who Nick Fury was. Now I knew because I dabble in comics and I'm familiar with the Marvel characters.
There are people that didn't know what. There were people that didn't know who Iron Man was.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, let's be honest.
And there's been characters where people in the audience who are familiar with comics gasp when they see them show up and make cameos, and the person next to them, maybe a girlfriend or boyfriend, has no idea who the fuck it is. You can't imagine they don't experience FOMO during that moment. It's like, well, I don't follow comics, I don't know any of this shit. You know, throughout the years I heard that shit. So it put people off in the MCU. It's happening on a bigger scale now because of the TV shows. But to me, you can still make TV shows and keep them in their own little pocket. But I kind of like it when they reward people who do watch them by including characters and whatnot. I don't want to see that change. Just explain the intros of these characters a little bit better in the movies and find better ways to introduce them if they did star in shows. It shouldn't be a mandatory thing to watch those shows, but if you did, it should be rewarding at least some way, shape, or form.
That's the problem.
Yeah, they need to find a better way to do that. And
that's the problem that Chris was even talking about when it comes to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, Coulson's all about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you know, he ends up showing up in the MCU, and I know he showed up before, you know, but the fact that you didn't necessarily have to watch that, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, and this is the argument of what the original 4 phases of the MCU, what made it popular and what made it the billion-dollar behemoth, wasn't the people that needed the deep storyline or was the comic book fans. It was the mainstream people, like you just said.
But I know I know.
But that's the problem. You have to make it mass market enough.
Sure, but I know.
And
I know tons of people who didn't watch every movie of all 3 phases and had questions going into those films about who's this, what's the significance of that. But the cool thing about those movies is they did a really good job of introducing people into the MCU, much like Marvel Comics did. One of the mandates from Stan Lee was like, treat this as if it's the person's first comic they ever read. And that's something that they may have lost throughout the years with these movies, because even he didn't see Captain America, and I know a lot of people didn't see the first Captain America going into Winter Soldier, you know, so they weren't really all tied into Steve's whole situation. But make it so that way you can kind of reintroduce the characters in every film. It's difficult, but it can be done. But getting off of that, my biggest problem with these phases is that it's been we don't have a through line, as Chris pointed out. We get all these different kind of stories, but it seems kind of slapdash where things are going. When we watched phases 1, 2, and 3, it felt like a momentum was building. I don't feel that momentum here at all, not story-wise anyway. I'm sure in this phase, as it unfolds, we're going to get things better. The next movie is Deadpool, which is something that I wanted to bring up because there have been some significant leaks that have come out about this. So if you don't want to know anything about this, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Make sure to check out the next episode. Hit that thumbs up before you leave. But there's been some set leaks for Deadpool that have been happening quite a bit, and they've revealed connections to Loki and Fantastic Four. They've been filming in this area, this quarry that is assumed to be, and I don't doubt it's assumed to be because it definitely looks like it, but it is possibly the end of time. There's a bunch of relics there. You see a TVA agent right here on the screen. You got someone.
But once again, if you don't watch Loki,
that's
and
fine.
you're watching these movies, that means nothing to you.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you talk about. I mean, you talk about like, oh, there's a lot of people that didn't watch, the first Captain America, but there was enough, but there was enough
Uh-huh.
in the success of movies where you knew what he was.
Sure.
You didn't have to know exactly, but you knew he was a super soldier.
Right.
Because they brought that up.
Yeah.
That was from
That's how you
World
do
War
it.
II.
That's how you do it. You.
That's not what they're doing right now.
Exactly.
That's
which I agreed with. I agree with that.
That's the problem.
But they need to go back to how they used to do it with the earlier phases.
But they also have to get the story right, though.
Sure.
Like, what is the end game? Like, I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Multiverse and the time thing. That's the wrong story. Because there's too much there.
Okay.
That is a story that was built on the comics to sell other comics because there was crossovers.
Right.
There's so many other stories.
Yeah, I agree.
Within the comic books that you could use that people can understand that, this is like the third movie. I haven't seen this. Maybe I can go back and watch the other ones, but that's the secret. That's not what's going on right now.
Right.
I mean, I haven't seen the Marvels.
Well,
but from what I understand, it's not a bad movie.
No, it's
but
fun.
I tried watching Ant-Man Quantumania. I can't finish it.
Oh, you never.
It's like it's unwatchable. It's unwatchable, dude.
I've seen unwatchable movies. That ain't it.
No, it's an unwatchable movie.
I don't know about that, but okay. that's fine.
It's stupid.
I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying I can finish
No,
it.
it's stupid.
Well,
it is a stupid movie because you're sitting there going, why do I care about this?
Yep.
And in the end, what is going on?
True. But they need to streamline this story and get it to where it needs to go. Deadpool is the only movie that comes out next year. I'm excited for it. It's going to have a lot of people from the Fox Marvel universe in it, and I guess
Which is another problem.
It's a big goodbye to those movies for the most part, and it shows this character transitioning into the MCU. It's not that big problem to me. Not everybody saw all those movies, but it's going to be funny, and they're going to find a way to execute this well. I got a lot of faith in these cats.
So you know that movie is going to be funny, and you know it's going to. So you know all this, bro. I mean. I get it. The other Deadpool movies were good.
Yeah.
But what is it adding to this?
Well, we'll find out.
That's the point.
It is a multiverse-centric film, and I know you don't feel any about the multiverse, but we're kind of stuck in the middle of it right now. So I'm gonna let this.
You don't have to be though.
Well,
they can pivot out of this very quickly.
This train has left the station like 2 years ago. So they kind of have to.
It doesn't matter. You can because that's the other funny. Yeah. Go back and watch the original first 4 phases of the MCU. There's a lot of stuff that contradicts everything, especially in those first couple movies. Chris, you can back me up on this. There's a lot of stuff
there's a lot of contradictions, but also they have been marketing this since Phase 4 as the multiverse saga.
Even have a logo.
They cannot pull back from that because that will be agnowledging failure.
This is like that tanker in the Suez Canal that got stuck. That's pretty much what this is right now.
But so what are you gonna just continue on with the bullshit that you said?
No, Kevin.
And guess what's gonna happen? Less and less box office.
You're right.
And less because guess what will end up happening?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one day they'll just pull the plug on it, and you won't get your finish.
Yeah,
so
you're not wrong. I've seen that happen many times in my life. But Kevin Feige has said that they are righting the ship, and that's why they're starting to put out less and less content. Hey man, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt in this case. They finally got the reins of the horse. They're trying to stop this.
How do you know? How do you know? You're just going by what he's saying.
Yeah.
You got to see the product at this point. Like you're going by, Kevin Feige said that.
But the product takes time to make.
Maybe at this point, Kevin Feige's not the person to right the ship. I'm not calling for his ouster.
Yeah.
But the problem is like you're going by, he said it's gonna. Okay, great. But let's see what you do.
Saying is they haven't righted the ship yet. Not even in the
slightest. Yeah, you're just going by what he's saying. There's no corrections.
He's promising that they're going to make corrections. we have not seen any of the corrections yet.
Right.
So it is still an open question if any of those corrections
No,
will even be good.
I get it. It's right.
Yeah.
You're right to doubt it, but they just announced that they're making changes. They just came face
Right,
front and just had a press conference talking about the changes that they're making. It's not going to happen. Hold on, let me finish. I have not got to finish the sentence in the last 10 minutes, so please let me finish. They basically are saying that they made a lot of mistakes and it's going to take time for them to fix. I don't expect an overnight change.
Why?
It's not going to happen. You can't.
Why?
They got this stuff already in the can.
No. So what? You can. Oh, you're telling me that they've never done reshoots on anything?
Yeah.
There's never been a movie with. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. That's fine.
And you don't have to spend a bunch of money. The problem that
I know this. They've talked about that.
The
at
problem
the press conference.
that they have is they're working on a business model that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
it was we'll spend $300 million on the movie and we'll get $1 billion. It doesn't exist anymore.
I know, which is why they announced that they're not spending the Titanic budgets at that press conference. I keep referencing.
but that's the thing. It's a press conference, dude.
I get
an announcement that you're going to do something is not the same as doing it.
Oh, that's fair.
You can announce lots of things.
Right. That's the point.
You're right. I get that. But
you're putting faith in them.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there going, okay, well, he did a good thing, but in the past, but it doesn't matter right now. The ship is sinking.
Oh, so
how do you get it? How do you stop it?
So I should
Go
ahead.
No, I'm not saying you have to do anything.
Go ahead and finish.
But until you make a assertion of or have an opinion if they're actually going to right the ship, you got to see what happens. Because what happens? They say all this and they put the same bullshit up. Then it's gonna go, and then it's gonna be, oh well, but we'll fix it the next time.
Sure, I'll eat crow if that fucking happens. But my thing is that look, they're addressing the issues. It's going to take time. They're already taking steps.
But why? It doesn't have to take. It doesn't have to take time.
I get it. Can I finish?
This idea.
Okay,
this
I'm
idea
done.
that
it's cool.
Guys, you're going in circles.
It's cool.
It doesn't make any sense. Your argument makes no sense on that.
You're going in circles here. Let's move on. Going in circles. We're not getting anywhere.
It's fine. Ultimately, I've got faith that they're going to make the changes they're going to that will help to improve this. I don't think all is lost, and I think they can salvage the story. And ultimately, I think that it's going to end up better than it started. I just think they need direction, and they need to go ahead and make some necessary changes. And I know it's going to take at least 2-3 years. They've canned projects. They're probably going to can other ones. I don't expect Armor Wars to come out. I don't expect some of these other projects they set on minuscule characters to come out. And if they do, they're not going to be important to watch. There's just going to be content stuff on Disney Plus, which I hope they don't make something that unless they have purpose. But yeah, I'm still enthusiastic about this. This could be as bad as Warner Brothers is with the DC universe right now. I have faith in James Gunn, but James Gunn's none of his projects have come out yet. So, it's been about a year or so since he took over. I got faith he's going to do the right thing. I have faith in Kevin Feige that he's going to do the right thing. You got two people in charge of two labels that are very energetic about them, and they're finding focus, and they're trying to right both their ships. And so I'm going to give it time and see how it unfolds. Ultimately, though, I'm excited for Deadpool. I'm glad it's the only movie coming out next year as the MCU. It gives them time to kind of recenter, and there'll be less shows on Disney Plus for the MCU next year too. They're doing the same thing with Star Wars too. So anyway, I'm going to lean on the slightly positive side of things, and hopefully I will enjoy how the rest of this plays out.
But that's the thing. It's not the fact of being positive or anything.
Yeah.
I'm positive about it too, but you have to be cautiously positive or cautiously optimistic on this, because the thing is at this point,
right,
it's not being done. We're still thinking you still have the bias of, well, they did Endgame. They did, they did the first 4. That's great.
It took them 4 years to film that movie, right? 4 years. It takes time. It can't instantly happen,
dude.
It's cool.
It can instantly happen because they can make.
It cannot.
It can't instantly happen. See the DC extended universe. They're shit canning the whole fucking thing, and they're going in a new direction, like you just said. They brought in James Gunn.
They're still released all the movies they already had in the bag, even though they suck.
Yeah.
No,
so-
Aquaman is still coming out. So
They're still releasing these movies.
The shitty movies.
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I misheard
Yeah.
you. I apologize.
Pay attention.
I misheard you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Because at this point they're trying to make whatever movie they can make off of it.
Yeah, okay.
So if it makes,
but at the end of the
if
day,
they break
look,
even.
the thing to remember, whatever tack you take on this, is that this is not about improving the creativity of the storytelling for the sake of the art. It's we got to turn this around to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
If they end up just going a formulaic route of these rumors of, we want to reunite the original Avengers, if they decide we just need to repeat what worked before, that's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
will be
something I wanna see.
the death of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout outs to show.
That's what gives me pause.
Which is
Right.
respectable. And I can understand you guys being on the fence. Shout outs to show. He says one more movie coming out in 2024. They pushed a lot of shit back. The first movie they are fixing is Blade. They're even fixing Daredevil, which was at the start riding the ship. They canned the whole series to start all over. And I just
There you go.
delay too. Yeah.
So
So
they can do it.
and
Dude.
again,
that's the
that's what I'm
thing.
saying.
Like you're making it sound like it's going to take years. They can do it in the meantime. The contracts are all signed. They can start producing films again. They can do this stuff very quickly. There is a monetary motive to get this shit righted.
I'll clear up one last thing. When I say it takes years for the product to come out. Not takes years to make the decisions. You make the decisions instantly. They can stop it today if they want to.
It doesn't take years to do the product out. They can get the product out. If they're monetary motivated, they will get the product out. You make it sound like it's not a business. It's a fucking business. It's an assembly line, dude. I mean, they will get it out. The reason why
You're overestimating, Neo, how easy it is for these ships to get righted.
It takes 2 years to make a film, Neo. 2 years. With
2
CG,
years to make a film.
It does with CG in it, yes.
Even though they've made a lot of these movies within a year or so, you can do it. You can go back. Here's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man, the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
What? $40-50 million?
Yep.
Yeah, you could. Maybe it goes back to the fundamentals. Like maybe that's the next reset. Like. You're sitting there going with the idea that we're gonna right the ship by throwing more money at it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do a fucking story that makes sense.
I didn't say that.
Maybe. Well,
I didn't say that.
But you're telling me 2 years to make a film.
Yes.
Did the original Iron Man take 2 years to make?
Yes. From 06 to 08. Yes.
06 to 08.
They started pre-production in 06. So yes, it took 2 years.
It took 2 years. So what are the exact dates on it? Like
I don't have
that.
The dates.
Doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense.
Why are you
to
getting
me.
so into the weeds on this?
I don't understand that.
There's no need. It takes time to make movies. They do not get changed as easily as you're possessing. It's a lot more involved.
But they're the biggest movie thing right now. Disney controls everything.
Okay.
They
and
have
it still
what?
takes as much time as it does to make special effects, no matter how much you crunch.
Sure, and that's fine.
It still takes as much time to film. It still takes as much time to write. Like it doesn't just magically happen overnight. So I don't know where you're getting this notion that they can just magically wave a wand and have a movie out tomorrow that fixes all the problems.
Because they can use what they have and fix it. I'm not saying they have to redo everything,
sure.
But you're telling me they got stuff in the can. They can reshoot stuff. They can rewrite stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
know that, and they do that.
Right.
But that still takes time anyway. It doesn't.
And
it
money.
doesn't happen overnight to just rewrite a movie and reshoot and re-edit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
It's cool.
Yeah. I mean.
I think you lost the plot there, buddy. I don't know where you're coming from with this. Honestly,
it's all right.
You lost the plot.
I need some water. But anyway, spirited conversation, everybody. Neil, back to you.
Chris, what do you think? What I mean,
I don't think that the future for the MCU is as bright as the past has been. And like I said, decline was inevitable because that's just the natural order of things. But the way that they are declining and the time in which they are declining, these were completely foreseeable situations and completely avoidable, and just corporate greed now, as it always does, and it made the product worse.
so the argument that I've seen online is people say they should take a pause. Do you think they should take a pause?
Yes, they should. Will they? Absolutely not, because this is, a corporate money-making machine. Disney will absolutely not allow them to. Look at what they did to Star Wars, where they were like, we're going to crank out all this fucking Star Wars to get an ROI on having bought Lucasfilm. It's the same with Marvel. There will not be any pause ever. That's not going to happen. That's not in the cards. Should they? Yes, absolutely. They should have taken a pause after Endgame. And yes, unintentionally they did, of the 1-year pause because of COVID. But I think that, like, creatively, it would have been best to take a planned pause, an intentional pause after Endgame. And that was never going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's the big problem is COVID happened. They needed to, and then they were trying to sell Disney Plus, and they needed content, and it basically kind of imploded on them. And I don't know. I mean, I feel that if you have that much resources, you should be able to do, because they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to slap shot something together. I mean, because Deadpool, I mean, what is that going to do? I mean, we'll have to see what it is. I mean, I know it brings back Hugh Jackman, but that's where I even get apprehensive about it. It's like, okay, I mean, it's great, but what does that even mean at this point? And I also wonder too, is have we all changed? Maybe at the point that the first 4 phases were going on, that was just a time that happened that you just can't recreate.
Well, that's a factor I can't measure.
Like, nothing is successful forever. That's the one truth.
Yeah,
that I think that was the
Nothing is
fallacy
successful
that
forever.
they had.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And of course, the old business notion: past performance is no indicator of future success.
Yo, shout out to
Exactly.
Robin. Shout out to Robin, and also Yazi writes, "War has changed." Shout out to Yup also. Good to see you. And Steve, aka my man Durian Music in the chat. Props to you guys.
Or maybe they need to have the guys that do this Godzilla -1. Maybe they need to bring them in.
Hey,
like fire Kevin Feige and all these assholes, and just bring these guys in, because that might be the other thing is, maybe just you need shorter movies or something. I don't know. So
the Marvels was 1 hour and 45 minutes, and that didn't help.
Boy, it was super short.
But I haven't seen it, but supposedly it's good. Like,
it's fun.
I haven't seen it on myself.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Good. There's areas of improvement for that movie, but I didn't go into it like I went into it like free of anything, and I enjoyed what I saw. I think it's missing some scenes. Outside of that, I enjoyed the chemistry between the 3 leads. I thought that was probably the best part about the movie.
So, okay. Well, that's our discussion on... So it says here, according to Wikipedia, though, the filming of Iron Man started in 2007, and it was released or 2006, I'm sorry. 2006, and it was released in...
Yep. Filming
2008.
Filming on average usually takes about 8 months. Pre-production usually starts the year before. It takes about a full year before they get to filming. But when it comes to when they chart a movie's progress, it's from pre-production all the way till day of release. So that's why I said 2 years that it takes it, because they're spending money on the movie the entire way, and sometimes working on CG up to the last day before the movie gets out and gets distributed. So it is what it is. You can make any argument about that if you want, but that's exactly how they chart the progress.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Filming a movie is not the sole purpose about making a movie. There's a lot of other steps involved with it. And you can't.
I get that,
Gotcha.
but a company like this, with unlimited resources, pretty much,
right?
That, because I look at this and it's like, this is on that was made on $130 million budget. Wow.
2008.
And it made, so yeah, you adjust that up, but still, it made
also
500.
Unlimited money doesn't translate to an unlimited level of talent and human resources.
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Only so much time in the day. There's only so many visual effects artists.
Why you make AI do
so
it,
many
dude?
Production personnel.
Yeah,
that's why you make AI do it.
AI.
See, I'm speaking like the studio executive.
Yeah, it works so well with that Secret Invasion opening.
Boy, oh boy.
So artistic.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You guys still watched it. That's all we care.
You jerk.
I am speaking as studio executive. So
I watched it, but they wasted $212 million on it with nothing to show for it.
Holy shit, did they ever?
Yeah,
what a waste of funds, dude.
That's their other problem there.
That show left me angry, son. And I was telling the show this weekend, it's like, yo, I'm still mad about Secret Invasions. We were bitching about that movie for like 2 hours. God, we could complain about that shit for 2 hours.
I was so bored.
I was
like,
pissed.
it was boring. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is boring.
Oof.
Like, I mean,
it's terrible. It's the worst thing they've ever put out.
I felt bad for Samuel L. Jackson.
Me too.
I honestly did.
He deserved better.
But you know what? I understand why he did it. It was just a paycheck. At that one, he was going back to his days of old, where it's like, just take a job and just get paid.
Maybe one day we'll do MCU Toilet, and this will be top of the list.
Unless something worse comes out, the very top of MCU Toilet right now will be Secret Invasion.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That'll be
followed by Quantumania.
That is the top thing. It's Secret Invasion.
I would say for series it's Secret Invasion, but for movies it's Quantumania.
I'll have to ask Show to be on that episode as well.
Quantumania is
because Show has some things to say about that fucking show, for real.
Which one? Secret Invasion?
Wait till you hear that shit come out his mouth.
I mean, it might be the same things I said on it. So
I can't wait.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully, gosh, what happens if DC? Man, that'd be crazy, huh? DC they right the ship.
It's quite possible.
We'll
see. One of the few unambiguous successes that Marvel has had these last 2 phases was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which of course was James Gunn's baby, and he has left the building for Marvel. So he's got a winning record so far, and
makes you wonder
what he does.
Yeah, man, Guardians 3 was so good. Holy shit!
It makes you wonder: should he have been promoted? I mean,
Kevin Feige.
Yeah. I mean, because that was a good movie, and you forget that that's part of the new Marvel.
Yeah.
So
one of the highlights of the current phases, most definitely.
Yeah, we'll see, but well, I mean, let's see what happens. But guys, anything before we head on out of here? Our holiday hiatus.
I'd like to make an album recommendation. There's a remix album I just came across. For those who are hip hop aficionados, there's an album called Aesop Bach, featuring Aesop Rock. He's a lyricist, rapper from the 90s, still active today. They cross over a lot of his previous songs with orchestrations from Johann Sebastian Bach. It's an incredible collaboration between it's just a great remix album. It's free on YouTube and also on Bandcamp. Fantastic stuff. I can't stop listening to it. It's amazing. Shout outs to my man Steve in the chat. He'll probably check that out because I know he's a big hip hop head. But yeah, Aesop Bach, man. Definitely check that out if you can, and let me know what you think of it. Other than that, that's it. Besides me giving the websites.
Chris, you got anything?
Nope.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. So, bro, you want to give them the websites?
Yeah, definitely check out MAHQ.net, as I mentioned before. That's the Mecha and Anime headquarters. Don't sleep. Go there, hit the favorites button, and check out on a regular basis about the new articles going up and the new additions to the website. MechaTalk.net is the official forums of MAHQ. Also, Gundam.podbean.com is where you can find the audio podcast. And also find us on Facebook at MAHQ1. It's a group for MAHQ members and people who listen to the podcast. Go there and join the conversation. Also find us on all sorts of different apps. Like, I don't want to say X anymore, so I'm going to just leave that alone. But definitely find us on...
That's what it's called.
What's that?
That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, find us on your favorite social media, whether it be Blue Sky or Threads or Mastodon or whatever. You'll find MHQ over there, and also Gundam as well, man. If you want to find links to them, just go to MHQ.net.
I will say though, in reference to that, I've pretty much given up on Mastodon. It just does not seem like it's going anywhere.
Yeah, it's dying too.
Like
Threads is dead.
So
Threads is dead
and
too.
Threads is, to me, dead. And so pretty much for MHQ's accounts, Blue Sky is where it's at.
There you go.
And everything else is
yeah, it's
not something we're pursuing.
If anybody needs a Blue Sky invite, I have a couple codes to give out. So if you're listening to the show, just hit me up.
Come on, we're not going on True Social.
Oh no, man! Well, I forgot to secure. No, fuck that. But yeah, man, that's it. Thanks for checking this out. Oh, we hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So thank you guys for subscribing.
What does that mean?
Oh, we just had 1,000. Hopefully, that means we'll get an offer for adding, making the videos monetizable. Usually they'll send you a notice, so we'll find out. If it does, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully, that I said that people don't unsubscribe immediately. But if you like what you saw here today, hit that follow button or subscribe button.
Why would you say that?
Hey man,
exactly.
It happens.
It's
cool. Why would you jinx?
That sucks. I should have kept my mouth shut.
Why would you say that as I'm going right now to unsubscribe?
Open mouth, insert foot.
Exactly.
There you go. But hit that thumbs up if you like this episode tonight, and thank you very much for supporting us all year, guys. We'll see you in the next year. Back to Neo.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll be back next year. I don't know, either the first or second full week of January.
Oh, it's after my birthday. My birthday's on the 6th, so anytime after that, I guess whatever the first Thursday is after my birthday, we're good.
So there you go. We'll be back and have a safe holidays, and yeah, and we'll see you in a little bit. Talk to you later.
has the greatest culture? Bullshit. Stop thinking you know anything about culture. You don't even know the meaning.
I'm going in. Cover me, Porkins.
I'm right with you, Red 3. Got a problem here.
Eject!
I can hold it.
Pull up!
No, I'm all right.